Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to continue to talk about the rest of our planets. We're going to talk about the next two planets, and this is the start of our planets that are the gas giant planets, meaning that they're big balls of giant gas, just gas and clouds and stuff. So the next two planets we're going to talk about are Jupiter, which is here, our biggest planet, and Saturn, the one with the most notable rings on it. So first I'm going to read a story, and then we're going to talk about Jupiter and Saturn today. And so remember, before I start my story, here's our sun, and the closest planet to the sun is Mercury, and then we have Venus, which is our brightest planet, Earth, where we live, and Mars, the red planet. So then we're going to talk about the fifth planet closest to the sun today, and the sixth, which is Saturn. So first I'm going to read 8 spinning planets. So we're going to talk about the 8 different planets, right? Because there's 8 planets in our solar system. So 8 spinning planets travel around the sun. Mercury is closest, and it's the smallest one. It is a rocky planet without any air. With the sun so close by, it's very hot there. And then what comes next? It is Venus, right? 7 spinning planets around the sun they go. Here is beautiful Venus with its yellow glow. Covered with clouds that trap the sun's rays, Venus is like a desert, hot and dry every day. Remember, we said Venus is like the desert. It's very, very hot all day. So we wouldn't want to live there, right? Next is Earth, right? 6 spinning planets in outer space they roam. Next comes bright blue Earth, the place we call our home. Earth is filled with water, food, animals, and air. It's the perfect world for all of us to share. And then what comes next? Our red planet, Mars. 5 spinning planets in space overhead. You can tell this one is Mars because it's red. Mars has mountain ranges that rise up very high. It has not 1, but 2 moons that orbit its sky. Remember, Mars doesn't just have 1, it has 2 moons, and it's the red planet. 4 spinning planets floating with the stars. Make way for Jupiter. It is really large. It's the biggest planet and rotates awfully fast. With 1 great red spot, Jupiter is made of gas. So remember I said there's a red spot on Jupiter. That's how we can tell it's Jupiter too, because it has a giant red spot on it. And in this book, we're counting down, right? We started with 8 and we're going down. So after 4 comes 3. Saturn. 3 spinning planets, such incredible things. Look, there is Saturn with all its pretty rings. The rings circle Saturn and reflect sunlight. They are made of icy rocks that glow nice and bright. So here's a picture of Saturn's rings up close. So we had 3, now we're down to 2. We're on Uranus. 2 spinning planets deep in space they glide. Look at Uranus, it's lying on its side. Uranus is made of gas like Jupiter. The planet and its rings look like one big blur. And we'll talk about Uranus tomorrow, along with, last but not least, Neptune. So 1 spinning planet, Neptune is cold, cloudy, and blue. If you were that far from the sun, you would be cold too. We've counted all the planets circling the sun. That leaves only Pluto, which is too small to be 1. So a long time ago, but not that too long, there used to be 9 planets in our solar system, but then later they decided that Pluto was too small to be a planet, so now we only have 8 in our solar system. So 8 spinning planets. So today we're going to talk about Jupiter and Saturn. So this is Jupiter from space. Look how big that is compared to all the other ones I've shown you. That's big, big Jupiter. And remember, you can tell it's Jupiter because of its red spot on it. So here's also a picture of Jupiter from space. So here's Jupiter. So it's the 5th planet from the sun. So we'll put the number 5 because it's the 5th closest to the sun. You can kind of see that. And it's the giant planet. So it's the biggest planet in our solar system. Look at all the planets minus the sun. It is the biggest out of all the planets. So it's the biggest planet, 5th closest to the sun. And it is made of gas and liquid. So big clouds of gas. Remember, this is our first gas giant planet. So it has no solid surface. So no plants or animals can live on it. So that also means there's no air or water. So no plants and animals can live on it. It is orange, yellow, brown, and white, and it has rings, but you can't really see the rings, right? It doesn't have rings like Saturn, but it does have rings. And the great red spot on it is a big storm. So it has lots of storms on its planet. That red spot is a big hurricane, like how we have hurricanes here on Earth, but that's just one hurricane that never goes away. It has over 62 moons, so that's a lot of moons. And it's really, really cold and windy. So I wouldn't want to live on Jupiter because it'd be cold all the time and very windy. And see how it looks like there's bands around the planet? The like lines, those are bands, and those are all weather bands. So it always has weather going around it. And then it spins just like how the Earth spins, but the Earth spins slowly, but it spins really, 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 really fast. So it spins really fast, and it takes 10 hours to orbit the sun. Okay, so the thing you should know about Jupiter is that it's the biggest planet, and it is made of gas, and the red spot is a hurricane. It's the weather. It's a big, big storm. So next we have Saturn. Saturn's an easy one to identify because of its rings, right? Saturn is the big one with the rings. Saturn is the 6th planet closest to the sun. So it's the 6th planet closest to the sun. And this is an actual picture of Saturn in space. That looks pretty cool, right? You can really tell its rings. I think Saturn is the coolest looking planet. Doesn't that look pretty cool? That looks really cool from space. So it's the 6th planet closest to the sun. It's the 2nd largest planet. So Jupiter was our first biggest. Next is Saturn is the 2nd biggest planet. And it's our 2nd gas giant planet. So that means it's made of gas, big clouds of gas and liquid. And the rings are made of big chunks of ice and rock. Let's see what else. So it's known for its rings, and it's the last planet you can see with the telescope. So sometimes people use telescopes to look into space, to look at the stars and the planets. And Saturn is the last planet you can see in your telescope. So you wouldn't be able to see Uranus or Neptune through your telescope. And I put up a cool picture for Friday's attendance question for you to see. One of my neighbors posted a picture of the planets that he took a picture from his telescope, and you can really tell Saturn, and it looks really cool. So it has over 60 moons, so it has lots of moons, and it spins faster than Earth, but it doesn't spin faster than Jupiter. So it spins really fast, and it is gold, brown, and white. You can't really tell though there, but you can tell it's gold and brown there. And the rings are gold, brown, and white, red, yellow, green, but you can't really tell those colors here. And there's no air or water on Saturn, so people can't live on it. Because remember, it's made of gas, and there's no solid surface. So no spaceship could land on Saturn or Jupiter because they're made of gas. So we have Jupiter, which is the 5th closest to the sun. It's the largest planet with its red spot, which is a big storm. And then we have Saturn, the 6th planet closest to the sun, and it is most notable for its rings around it. All right, so those are the first 2 gas giants in our solar system. So Jupiter and Saturn. And next we will talk about Uranus and Neptune, our last 2 planets in our solar system.